Yeah.
Where did you get that from, man? That was insane.
Okay. All right. That's a great question. Let's have some fun. All right.
My first question for you, I have to ask about that wax statue. It is insane.
It is.
Where did it end up? Where is it right now?
Okay. My hope is that it's in Nicolas Cage's house. I honestly have no idea. I hope that he took it home with him. That statue, by the way. Okay. Or Pedro's house, by the way. Maybe it's in Pedro's house. I hope. Yeah, one of the two. We had that made for the film, and it came, and it was even more crazy looking when it showed up. It was like partially melted. And we had this incredible makeup artist named Bill Corso, who's sort of a legendary guy. And I went to Bill and I got there on the day and I was like, this is insane looking. You have to help fix this. And he was like, give me a half an hour. Let me see what I can do. And that's what we came up with.
We did have to change the script somewhat on the day though, where Nick had to look up at it and go, it's grotesque.
Yeah.
Which is not in the script.
It worked. It worked.
Much funnier.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I'm so happy that this movie exists. It's so much fun and such a great love letter to Nick Cage and to his entire career. Where the hell did you come up with the idea for this movie? How did that start?
I don't know. How do any ideas start? It was just like a germ of this idea. We thought for some reason, Nick has transcended the idea of what it means to be an actor. He's become this cultural figure, this institution, the sight of whose face makes people happy and smile, whether they're holding Nick Cage heads up at a rock concert or something. It's just a strange thing that's happened with the rise of meme culture. And so for us, it was who is this guy as a real person? He presents as a huge, wild, eccentric, expressionist human being.
Right.
Who is he when he's just being a dad or just going to lunch? And for us, it was building a narrative around that.
I mean, were you guys sort of crushed because as far as the legend goes, you sent the offer out to him, this idea that if he turned it down, you cannot make the movie like you've discussed. He turns it down 3 or 4 times, apparently. How did you go from that? Were you disappointed? And then the rumor is you wrote a letter that convinced him to do the movie. What happened and what was in that letter?
Yeah. So it was a process. It was we knew it would be a long slog, and credit to Tom for kind of just never giving up and pushing it forward. And the letter was our kind of last ditch attempt to put the film in some context and explain our intentions, which was exactly what you said. It's a love letter, and explain that it was it would be a chance for him to on a large level, kind of play with people's ideas of who they think he is and who he really is. And it could be this weird, giant performance art piece. And we thought if there was one guy brave enough to kind of take on something like that Nick would be the guy. And thank God he was.
Again, so glad he did it. So glad he said yes. Had a chance to talk to him briefly. And I told him that my favorite line in the movie was his idea, which is, you tell him Nick Cage smooches good. What did you think when he brought that line to you? What was your guys' response to that?
I loved it.
We loved it. That's what you're not getting from any other actor. That's the reason to make this movie, because he makes choices that are so outlandish. You could never actually think of them yourself and give him that kind of direction. He just does it, gives it to you. And that's the collaboration that the movie thrived on.
I remember I texted a couple friends who I had shared the script with and who knew the project. I remember I texted Anders, my friend, and was like, you're not going to believe what Nick Cage pitched us today. And it was that Nick Cage, which is good.
Again, it's just he's such a beautiful human being. So glad that you guys made the movie with him. Thank you so much for talking to me this afternoon. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi, my name is Hector. I'm here today with Nerdist. It is lovely to talk to you today, sir.
Happy to speak with you too, Hector. I see you have a pretty good sculpture collection in back. I also enjoy action figures and collect them myself.
I know this. Absolutely. Yes. I appreciate the appreciation. Trust me. It was the reason I was stoked to talk to you today. Yeah.
Thank you.
I love this film, and I love how much it loves movies. The conversations between your character, Nicolas Cage, and Pedro Pascal's character, Javi, were so great. I would love to know, Nick, if it's even answerable, what is your actual favorite movie of all time?
See, I kind of addressed that in the movie itself because you can't answer it. Different movies for different seasons. It's, you know, but I mean, coming off the top of my head, 2001, East of Eden, Apocalypse Now, Viva Zapata. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
I figured that moment in the film was a little bit of you and, you know, your way of talking about that, which I thought was great. I was also happy to learn, coming off of the top of your head, my favorite line in the movie was a suggestion from you, which is when Nikki says, "You tell him Nick Cage smooch is good."
Yeah.
Where did you get that from, man? That was insane.
Okay. All right. That's a great question. Let's have some fun. All right. Okay. This movie is about someone named Nick Cage, who is being played by somebody called Nick Cage. And it was kind of like looking at myself in a mirror for 90 minutes and kissing myself. It was both. It was like it was the summation of what the experience was for myself. I was horrified. It was uncomfortable. It was oddly fun. It was oddly thrilling. It was really strange and bizarre. And it would be like kissing oneself or making out with oneself. That, in a nutshell, that moment was symbolic of everything I was feeling. It was odd. It was fun. It was horrifying. But to get even more precise, I had seen a movie a million years ago called The Manster, Manster. And in that movie, the person was turning into a monster of sorts. And it was an old, bad black and white horror film. And in that movie, the actor, who had a voice that sounded like it was drenched in whiskey and too many cigarettes, and he kisses a girl and he says, "You smooch good. Tell him you smooch good." Yeah, she smooches good. And I thought, this is horrible. And it's such bad acting. And yet it's delicious. And I put it in the movie that Nikki says, "You tell him Nick Cage smooches good." So it came from both trying to say something about the surrealist experience of making massive talent and also recruiting my memory of the Manster.
Oh my God. The streaming for the Manster is going to go up 300% after this answer. Nick, I just want to say you are absolutely the coolest. I agree with Guillermo del Toro when he said there will never be another actor like him and master. I agree with him. Thank you so much for having fun making this movie, and thanks for talking to me today. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.